Welcome to the Word According to Me. I'm AJ Tripp. And once again, I'm bringing you my written blog video form. And so this one, we're calling Exposing the Myth of Cheating. Now, I wrote this Saturday, August 28th, 2010. And so I'm going to read this to you. And as I read through it, I'm going to give my impressions of it. So and then at the end, I'm going to give you where I feel now in 2017 about what I wrote back then in 2010. So let's go ahead and let's start this off. I start the blog off like this. I love you. I care about you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I also want to blame the beautiful creature at the bar who's very openly giving me the A-OK. However, I can't. Why? Because most people can't understand the difference between sex and love. I don't love her. I'm not going to fall in love with her. I'm going to screw her. Period. I have to curtail this ridiculous thought that sleeping with someone other than my significant other shows my uncaringness for her. BS. And let me tell you why. It is apparent to me, from celebrity to citizen, white to black, gay to straight, that there is this phenomenon of cheating in this country and probably this world. I put cheating in quotes because is it really cheating? Going along with the whole evolutionary theory, and we've evolved from animals. Animals are not monogamous creatures, meaning neither are we. I had some really bad grammar back in the day. Meaning neither are we as humans. However, religion and closed-mindedness has caused us to think that we are monogamous when we're not. With so many people cheating, it's very obvious we're not. I mean, think about it. Really think about it. If you do it, hold on, let me start that over again. I mean, think about it. Really think about it. If you do, it would make sense. Unfortunately, there are always going to be non-believers and people who will try to shoot holes in my expose of cheating. Well, let me give you some excuses I've already heard. If we're supposed to be non-monogamous, why do some people not cheat? Very easy. Public guilt. Somehow we have decided that public opinion would matter more than common sense. Everybody get those feelings of wanting to have to have a passion fest with someone who is not their mate at that time. Everybody does. If you say you don't, once again, I call BS. This is more of a woman thing than a man thing, and other women will use horrible names like slut and whore and anything else to degrade them. Why? Back to public guilt, which turns to religious guilt. And heaven forbid you can possibly piss off a being you can't see, hear, or touch. If there is a God, He would want you to be non-monogamous because that is what's going to make you the most happiest. As long as you are a good person, He could give two craps about how you live your life. And now that's a very first long paragraph that I wrote there back in 2010. And to a certain extent, I still agree with this. I really do. I don't think we are monogamous creatures. I really don't. I don't think that we should be. We should enclose ourselves into that. But I do feel that it is public pressure, it is religious pressure that clones into our society and says that, well, if you sleep around with somebody, you're a bad person. If you want to sleep with 100 people in your lifetime, you're a bad person. You're a slut. You're a whore. You don't deserve love and worth. You don't love yourself, or some bullshit like that they put on those type of people, and it's ridiculous. It really is. And I do think that the cheating part it makes total sense. So I mean, because really, I mean, think about it. Yeah, that's all it is, right? You're not having an affair. I think an affair is different than cheating. Now, it's kind of one and the same. I will grant you, but it's cheating. But cheating, to me, cheating involves a sexual, force. It's something like that, where it's about sex, and it's all about sex, and that's all it's about. And I think an affair is something where this is a relationship. This is another relationship. This is someone else that you have, deep feelings for. And I think that's where the two get confused. I think an affair is something that's a lot worse than cheating. And that's where you need to kind of see the things. And even then, as a lot of you out there may know, there are people who don't care about that, about they having the other relationships. There are polyamorous people out there that feel like love is just love, and you should spread the love. And whether you have a main person, but then you have your sub loves and your sub relationships. You'd have 3 or 4 of those, but still have your main. I'm not sure if I'm getting the right terms or not, but but I'm sure you understand what I'm going for here. Let's continue. Aren't some people just monogamous people? Sure, I can believe it. I think it's very possible. I also think 90% of the people are non-monogamous, but for reasons I gave about earlier, aren't willing to see the forest before the trees. Now, there are more complicated things that go along with this, such as cheating being more of a trust issue than a love issue, or if the bigger issue is the closed-mindedness of the world. Those are great questions to be asked. But I wrote this only to prove cheating is a ridiculous thought made up to make you feel bad about being the sexual beings that you are. I'll leave you with this, and I believe this through and through. You can have sex without love, but you can't have love without sex. And again, I wrote this in 2010. That ends the entire blog. So yeah, I think I still agree with all of this. I do think that cheating is just something that is a ridiculous. It is something that is ridiculous, and I think if we were all more open-minded, I think we would see that. I would see that the guy who goes out and bangs the girl, or the woman who goes out and bangs the guy and still goes back home to their lover, the main love. I think that can happen. I really do. I think what happens is, and think about it. And this is 2010, and there was a lot of cheating going on back then. There's a lot of cheating on right now. As you can tell, it's Carmelo Anthony, Lala relationship, marriage might be, they're separated because there might have been some cheating there, and you can go all across, like I put earlier, from celebrity to citizen. There's a lot of quote unquote cheating going on in this world. So it has got to like put something on synapses that says, well, maybe I should be more realistic, more open-minded about the relationships, and that about the confluence of all of this stuff that's going on when it comes to cheating and everything like that. And maybe it's just the fact that we aren't monogamous creatures. We shouldn't try to be. I give one thing, and I give credit. The comedian Monique, she came out years ago. About her and her husband, and this might have been kind of that. I don't know if this was the emphasis of it, but this might have been around that same time. When the whole Precious thing was out and everything, like she was getting awards about for Precious and something like that. Again, at least getting talked about for her stuff in Precious. But she came out on Oprah and she talked about how her and her husband, the relationship they have, and how about him having sex with another woman isn't a deal breaker. and that's so mature, and it's so mature, and that's one of the things that I truly respected about her, and I respect her even more that she came out publicly with that, because I think, to be honest with you, that's how it really should be. That's how a relationship should be. You should wanna, find the love of your life, wanna settle down, have kids, get a cat, and have the picket fence and the 2 cars and all of that. No dogs, a cat, and you should want to have all of that. But like I mentioned up in the beginning, you see somebody across the room, and she's giving you the, you know, hey big boy, and you go over there and you talk to her, and she goes, you know what? I'm in town for the weekend. She come up to my hotel room. You you shouldn't have to say, okay, well, I can't turn this down because I have to turn this down because I'm married. You should be able to say, fine, pick up your phone, text your right. A situation has to come across. I've met a lady. She's invited me back to the hotel room. I'm about to throw down. And then she would text back, cool. I'll be waiting for you at home, waiting to give you round 2. Ideally, that's the way it should be. Oh, I forgot how it ends. Love you. He texts like, love you. She goes, I love you too. Because that's what it is. That's the love part. And then what he's getting ready to do is the sex part. But they have the love. And he's getting ready to get the sex. So I think that when it comes down to what I wrote in 2010, I think this is still going on today, and I'm still going to believe in the myth of cheating. Now, that being said, I'm probably in the minority in that, and I know that. So I think when it comes to it, it all comes down to respect. That you probably are going to have to respect your significant other, even if you think like me. And I think like me. And my situation is a whole other different situation. I may get into. I think I've wrote about that another time, so I may get into that at a later date. But I think that you have to, you have to respect your partner, and that might be one of the things that you might have to confluence on. You might say, okay, I do love her. This is one of the things that I'm going to have to compromise on. It is the whole non-monogamous type thing. So I'm going to be monogamous for her because I love her so much, even though I don't believe we are monogamous people. And maybe, so then you have to do that, and you do that because you love her or you love him. And that's just, the way it is. So, but yeah, the bottom line is, I do think that cheating is a myth. I don't think we are monogamous creatures. I think that's something we put on for religious guilt, for public guilt, and everything like that. So I think that the cheating, you cannot cheat on a person. It is a myth. And I think that maybe, hopefully, 20, 25 years down the road, I think maybe our younger, more progressive folks, younger people, children are our future, so to speak. I think they will maybe be more open about that and more seeing. We'll probably see that the relationship to be have is maybe the polyamorous relationship, where you have the main love and then you have all your sub loves. But I do think that that's probably going to be our future in 20, 25 years from, and we're going to look at our younger folks, and we're going to say they did it right, we did it wrong. All right, y'all, that's going to be it for me right now. This is your boy AJ Tripp signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful.